Hello, this is a really quick show around the Fintrano system, which is a web-based interface and a mobile app. The interface is for administrators of a company to track their workers and jobs, and the mobile app is for those workers to see what they've got to do and to communicate with customers with just a single button click. Let me show you how that works. So this is looking at the jobs for July the 2nd, and you can see that the worker Ian Rowe has two jobs, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and you can see the same information in the mobile app here. Now, the first thing to say is that the jobs can be done in one of two ways. You can put them into a time slot, which means that these are for small jobs. You don't know exactly how long they're going to take. So you do multiple jobs within a slot. And you say to the customer, we'll be with you sometime between, in this case, 9 and 12, or in this case, 2 and 5. You don't commit yourself to an exact time because you know that you don't know exactly how long a job will take. So you need to have some flexibility. You could also say, we will be with you at 10 a.m. for 2 hours. You can also do a timed job in that way, and that won't let you put multiple jobs at the same time because you are booked out for that exact period. So you can do both. You can commit yourself to a time, or you can say, here's a range of times in this slot. And if I show you how that works, so if I was to go and add another job for my demo customer, I can pick my location. Let's send them to Wagamama, and I'll do it for this afternoon. So I'll send Ian because I know Ian's got availability. Actually, everyone's got availability looking at the planner, but I'm looking at this screen, so I'm going to add it to Ian, which means you'll see it appear. So description, fix the fryer for Wagamama. I can make this a confirmed job, which means it sends the information and the notification straight to the customer, or it can be provisional, which means that nothing is sent to the customer yet. It isn't charged. It's just holding it in the diary. One of the key features of Fintrano is that we're not charging per user. So you can have as many workers or administrators in the system as you like. It doesn't affect the price. The only thing we charge for is the jobs, which I think is the fairest thing to do. We charge for that because we have to send a lot of text messages when we confirm and track a job. And so they cost money, and so we charge that. But it's completely fair. It's only 80 pence per job. At the worst case, if you have lots and lots of jobs in the hundreds, then actually that can go down to 60 pence per job. So let's go ahead and confirm that. So I add this job, and you see it's dropped in here, fix the fryer. So that's in my jobs for this afternoon. It's also in my job as a worker. I can see that job to do. And if I go to my customer view, so this is a Gmail account I've got ready, you can see what the customer gets. So the customer gets an immediate text and an email. And the email not only has all the information, but it includes a calendar link so that they can add it to their calendar so they don't forget that this job is happening. Now, that's not going to be such an issue because the other thing that Fintrano does automatically is remind the customer the day before. They get another email and another text saying, don't forget, in this case, Ian Rowe will be with you from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. To fix the fryer. And when that time comes, all the worker has to do is click on the job in the app. They can click on the map. If they do that, it'll load it in their Maps app so they can actually get directions and see how long it's going to take, see the correct route. But additionally, they can, use it for their sat-nav if that's how they're set up. But the key thing they can do, and it's, as I say, only one click, is just click this button. I'm on my way. And it confirms it with the customer. It updates the information. So here's another email's dropped in. Another text has arrived on my phone. Ian is on the way. But this is key because it has this track progress link. So this is super cool. It means that the customer gets a branded web page. They don't have to install any app. They just get a link in an email and a text. They see who's coming. They see their name and they see their live location. So this is very, very reassuring, and it's a huge customer service improvement on the competition. So you've essentially turned any small company into Uber because now the customer knows who's coming, what they look like, who are they opening their door to, and what's the work to do. This is good for the domestic market. It's really good for going to consumers, but it's also really powerful for business users. Perhaps when you arrive on site, there's going to be access issues. There's going to be power system. Depending on what the work is that you're doing on site, actually it can be even more useful for a commercial customer to know who's coming and when they're going to arrive and what's going to happen because they can prepare for your arrival. So finally, let's say that this job is done. Everyone's happy. I'm just going to arrive. That's good. It all updates. If I look at the job, so I can see where it's going, I can see who I've assigned it to, and I've got all this audit trail of what happened. The job was created, I was on my way, I arrived, and then finally as the worker, work's all done, everyone's happy, and I'm going to complete this job. So I click complete, and you've guessed it, another email arrives, another text. In this case, it's saying, can we have some feedback? So if I go back to my job information, you see it's updated everything. This is where the link goes now. And they get asked 2 questions. How would you rate the company, and how would you rate the worker? So if you give both, if the customer gives both 5 out of 5, it asks for a review. And you can choose exactly where you'd like this review link to go. So if you want more Google reviews, it can go there. If you use a different system, perhaps you have an industry specific one, or you use Trustpilot, Checkertrade, you could choose where you get the reviews, but you only present the review link to the customer when they give you 5 out of 5. So that means you're only asking people who've just told you that they love you to leave a review. So the reviews are going to be good. If at any point you received a less than 4, so if you receive 3 or below in either of those feedback ratings, obviously we don't ask the customer for a review. We also send an alert to the admin saying there's actually a potential problem here. Someone has left you what's essentially a negative feedback, so that you can talk to the customer directly, resolve that issue before they start talking to their friends and their network and potentially leaving you a negative review. So that's the Fintrano loop. We help you from the moment you book a job with a customer to the moment that job's complete. We help you to get the best experience for your customer and receive more positive reviews. If you have any questions, please just visit fintrano.com and drop us a line. Thank you.